What's up, guys? Tuki here, back again. This is my Boston Bruins franchise mode series on NHL 17. Oh boy, I still can't believe our record. An unbelievable start, probably the best start to a season I've ever seen, which we left the last episode on an interesting point where Cole Castles was coming back from injury, and the question was, what do we do? Who do we get rid of? A lot of suggestions. And I think what it comes down to, for me, Jake DeBrusk is probably going to be the one sent down. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a little bit of a risk. We're going to keep the team the same. We're going to scratch Cole Castles for now. Because like I said in the last episode, he's not going to get much better. 84 is probably his ceiling. So if we lose out on him, I'm all right with that. But we're going to keep the team together for now. We have made one change. We're switched Nolan Patrick to a sniper. There was an argument between sniper and playmaker. We're going to try sniper first, which hopefully works out with Stromwall and Seneshin both being playmakers. And we'll just see if the team can keep it up. If they can, it's not broken. Why try to fix it? If we start to slide, though, we do have certain options. Signing Brian Little for free agency. The idea of picking up Derek Brassard, while it would be nice, he is signed for 3 more years at $6 million a season, and that, despite us having the cap space now, would definitely come back to haunt us when we need to re-sign some players. But we are exactly halfway through the year. Anything can happen. But for now, let's sim to the end of the month to start. Well, actually, we'll sim right to the All-Star break, as was planned, which is at the end of the month. Duh. And we'll see what this team can do and if we can keep it up. Both teams are performing so well. So we will stick with the people who have gotten us this far. Hopefully Cole Castle's morale doesn't drop too far. If he starts to plummet, I will be forced to make a move, but we will hope that that doesn't happen. Let's see. It's just under 3 weeks. What is this team going to look like? I have no idea. Overall, not a terrible stretch, although losing 4 out of 5 games after winning 2 straight was pretty rough. Not a terrible stretch. We're still 36-9-5 at the All-Star break. Jeff Skinner went down to injury for a bit. He's out until early next month, which is pretty disappointing. And we also picked up a half-decent player on waivers from the Pittsburgh Penguins, that being Cristiano Di Giacinto. Would it be Cinto or Cinto? Cinto, that was Spanish as hell. Totally Spanish. Who remembers that? Totally Spanish. Let me know down in the comments below who was the player that we called totally Spanish. You tell me, you win a star for the day. Gold star for the day. Anyway, Providence is looking all right. Really all right, especially defensively. Because McIntyre, Joel Lampkin, and Charlie McAvoy are all high AHL top, or not high AHL, but minor league top 2 defensemen. So what a situation we have there. It's still, until Jeff Skinner gets back, I don't know if I can make a decision. No, I could show you the stats. Nobody's still lighting the world on fire, but we're still performing well. We're delaying the inevitable. I think changes are going to have to be made. But it's just, just the record just makes you wonder, how could you possibly? But anyway, we have 32 games to go in this season, so we're going to sim a decent bit here. Let's go to the 21st. I want to give ourselves some time in case maybe we sign a free agent or something like that, although there aren't too many great options aside from Little offensively and Fowler defensively. So let's go. 3 weeks to February 21st, and we will see just what situation we're going to be in. Herme is going to get at least 2 starts, probably against Anaheim and Dallas, and hopefully we can stay healthy. You wouldn't think having a team with this record would be this stressful, but it is stressful, let me tell you. 3 losses, only one of which was in regulation. We have a 42-10-7 record. Now, there has been a change to the lineup. I can't lie and say it was a mistake. I tried to get crafty, and I tried to sneak Cole Castles down to Providence. That did not happen. The Toronto Maple Leafs claimed him. So, I mean, that's the thing. Decent value. If we were to just have traded him, third-round pick, maybe a second, and actually we'll double-check. Toronto might be a playoff team. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, Cole Castles was good for physicality and some defensive skill. But, yeah, I mean, right there. That's a third-round pick at best. And overall, I would have liked to have had him and kept him, but I tried to do something crafty, and it did not go through. Anyway, Jesus, Austin Matthews is a 94. I do look forward, though, to when we start a new one, which is still a little bit of a ways away. I'm not sure when I want to start a new series. This is completely off topic, but we'll get to it. Just because the trade deadline, I don't want to start and then have a bunch of trades happen and just be like, oh, well, fuck, yeah, wait 2 months from now when we can get that guy on the right team and actually start the realistic sim. So I'm not sure. I'm trying to think. But anyway, now the fourth line is solidified. Tufte, Teratukin, and Sasha. So Tufte, only 14 points. Funny enough, though, if you do best lines, it puts him on the second line. Teratukin, not doing too bad. Sasha, not doing too bad. Jumping to the third line. Jake DeBrusk, man. So disappointing. Gregor and Gurionov not doing too bad. Very tempted to just make... I don't know how Gurionov has that many assists when he only has 76 passing. But certainly some underperforming players. That top line is just tearing shit up. And defensively, we are actually dealing with an injury to Carlo. He is coming back, but we gave Lampkin some time. So the big question is, did I want to sign anybody? Maybe did I even want to trade for somebody that only has a year left? As it is, Jake DeBrusk only has a year left. But I am afraid, even though he is 24, if we were to trade Jake DeBrusk, you watch, he'll turn into an 87, and he'll start scoring. So as far as trades go, we could definitely look to get somebody with a year left on their deal, or we could just go pick up Brian Little and Cam Fowler. Hell, maybe even just put them down on Providence for now. I mean... who is to say I meant to go to free agency? Whoops. Free agency, because we will see if they are still there. And I did mean to check the draft picks, too. But yeah, Little and Fowler, even Justin Braun. Although defensively, it might not be the best idea to sign somebody and just have them down there, because that would take away from someone who could really use that spot. We have a logjam of defense, so we really don't need Cam Fowler. But Brian Little, possibly. You look at the draft picks. Just what do we do? What do we do? Like I said, the only way we don't end up with this many draft picks because of all the prospects we get is if we just hand away these prospects for free. It's just the way this, the sim engine works and the way the game is designed. It is simply too easy and far too unrealistic. But, God, what do we do? Do we keep the team together? Yes. But what do we do? But that's the thing. Keeping the team together means, at the very least, sending down... we could send down Jake DeBrusk. It's so tough, man. It is so tough. It is Riley Tufte, even. That was awful. That is awful. By the way, 3:53 in the morning. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. But no, let's take a look. I'm not losing my mind at all. Nah, not at all. God damn. That is the effect. If you've ever worked a night job, holy shit, even when you're not currently working that night job, it can just beat the shit out of you. Connor McDavid's up to a 99. Pulley Harvey's up to a 90. Jesus. We look at these guys, who could we even get? We couldn't get Zuccarello. Artemi Panarin, we couldn't get him. Tarasenko, no. Brassard, no. Scheifele, no. John Tavares, probably, even with those seconds, too expensive. Landeskog would be funny, because, of course, the real Bruins rumors. It'd be funny to try and bring him in. Kessel, no. Barkov, no. Patrick Hornqvist, Jesus, they gave him a lot of money. Hornqvist, Daniel Sprong, potential. Jeez, he's having a great year in Pittsburgh. Man, I gotta make this quick, too, because I don't want this episode to go on too long. Hosang, but it's do we really need another? I wish that's what DeBrusk turned into. Ovechkin. So if we were to get somebody with an expiring deal, and Giovanni Smith doing well for Detroit. Giovanni Smith. David Krejci. Let's pick David Krejci back up. I don't know what I'm going to do, guys. Give me a minute. Let's figure this out. All right, so here. The easiest guy to get would be David Krejci. But even with all of these second-round picks, I don't know if that would be enough. And I get it. That is second-round pick overload. And what I'm eventually going to do is probably use those, turn them into firsts, and just... It's a mess, and I get that the draft pick situation was a mess. Jake DeBrusk is losing his spot, but we're not trading him. We are going to try and sign Brian Little for the rest of the season. Of course, we can afford him. No problem. We'll bring him in. We'll send DeBrusk down to Providence, and we'll look to re-sign him. And if DeBrusk doesn't make solid progression between now and the beginning of next season, then he's out, and we'll trade him for whoever we can trade him for. But this is pretty much going to be the only deal, although Matthew Strome goes down to injury. We'll just go best lines in Providence for now. Just because, we could sign Cam Fowler, but like I mentioned, there's already a log jam of defensive prospects in the AHL, and we will show you that right now. McIntyre, McAvoy, Stillman, Jarrett, Picard, Allison, and due to injury right now, of course, Lampkin is there, although we do need to send him down, so Allison would be out of the lineup. Oh boy, let's get this done. DeBrusk and Lampkin are going down. Hopefully, we can send down DeBrusk. That's something I didn't even think of. So, Lampkin. And where is DeBrusk? I went right past him, didn't I? He is way back here. Yes, he is. Oh, DeBrusk requires waivers. Shit. Oh, shit. It has to be somebody else. Fuck. Who's it gonna... That's the thing, you would think Sasha, but he's doing well. 7 goals, 15 assists. He's doing very well. That 91 offensive awareness, much like Solaric, it turned him into a monster. And obviously we can't send down DeBrusk. We couldn't get away with sending down Castles. So, Tufte, Teratukin, or Grigor. And it's probably, despite the fact he's up to an 84, it's gonna have to be Tufte. It has to be. So Riley Tufte, he's progressing though. I don't want to trade DeBrusk because I know for a fact he will turn into a monster. I don't know that for sure. He probably won't. I'm just not willing to risk it. Tufte, I'm sorry. Hopefully it can bounce back. He already dropped an overall point. Hopefully he can bounce back and turn in to an 84 overall player again. But let's see. Seneshin's actually doing fairly well. Nolan Patrick is kind of struggling, but we're still... Actually, does Patrick have power play time? Yes, he does. So what we're going to do is keep Nolan Patrick there, actually. And we will go... Who has better face-offs? That would be Grigor. Teratukin has slightly better defense. So it will be Guryanov, Little, DeBrusk, Grigor, Teratukin, and Sasha Chmelevski. And that is looking all right. Defensively, of course, still Yossi Hamilton, Chalowski, Grzelcyk. I'm calling him Sylvan from now on. Deal with it. He will be with Carlo. Down in the AHL, we will go best lines. Tufte is there. That is a damn good top line for an AHL team. Picard's there. Both teams are set. Let's get back into the sim, and we will see what Brian Little can do for this team. 23 games to go. We will sim to April 1st. We have a game against the Leafs, and we have a long way to go still through the month of March. Let's see what happens. 6 games left in this season. 52, 16, and 8. Both teams in a position for a playoff run. The Providence Bruins, of course, would be going for their 3rd straight Calder Cup. Now, we ended up putting in Hanu Herme for a lot of games, actually. It was after this Buffalo game. He had 3 straight games, was injured. Actually, he was in the Winnipeg game. That's where he was injured, I should say. So, unfortunately, he's out until the start of the playoffs, so Evan Sawchuk has been called up. And Sawchuk will play because we don't want to risk injury to Tuukka Rask, as we have sealed the conference title by far. Absolutely by far. So let's sim these last few games, unless there's a back-to-back, which honestly I forget if there is, and there is one right at the end. So Rask will play against Tampa, because Tampa's hot garbage this year. So we'll do it that way. Unless Jeff Skinner gets hurt. Oh my God. Here come the injuries. So far it's backup goalie and Jeff Skinner. But the injuries are coming. As I was hoping to avoid. But this game just loves curveballs, doesn't it? So let's go best lines and see what it does. That doesn't look too good to me. Well, Brian Little, for the record. I know you just saw he was on the fourth line. He was on the third line at one point. Brian Little hasn't done a fucking thing. Let me tell you. He has not done a goddamn thing. So let's put Gurionov up here. And let's go with Sasha over here, Little over here. I want to go with Tufte. We'll go with Grigor. Teratukin on the fourth line. Defensively, we are good. Goaltending, let's put Evan Sawchuk back in. We will go best lines down in Providence. And we will look to get through this minor bit of simming without any more trouble. Sawchuk against Toronto did not get the win. That is unfortunate. But again, I don't really care about our record. I'm sure we have the President's Trophy just about locked up. I mean, if we don't, then I'm not too concerned regardless. I am just more concerned about keeping Tuukka Rask healthy. We'll go defense for 1 week. Hannu Herme, just about ready to come back anyway. Everybody's coming back all of a sudden. So we can sim one more game with Sawchuk between the pipes. He gets the win. His second consecutive. Is Herme healthy? Is what I need to know on the top of the screen. He is not. Sawchuk gets this game as well. And he gets another win. 3 straight wins for Sawchuk. Herme is now healthy. And Jeff Skinner is close to being back. He's not going to be fully healthy though. So he will not start. But not a bad run for Sawchuk as the starter. But he is still going to be sent back down. How well did he do? A .920 save percentage in 4 games. Impressive. But down to the minors you go. Hannu Herme needs these games and can hopefully bounce back to an 83 overall. Tuukka still at an 88. This might be the last year of Tuukka Rask. We will probably bank on Herme and Sawchuk progressing, and then, of course, they can be a 1-2 combo until our nice project goalie is good to go. So Herme is in against Detroit, and Gurionov breaks his nose. Yep. Here come the injuries, guys. Here we go. We've made it this far without too many major injuries. God damn. All right, well, it is going to be Strome that gets the call up. He is back for the first time in a while. He lost his spot long ago thanks to Tufte and Sasha, but he is back. I need to take out Jeff Skinner. He can absolutely not play. Too big of a risk of him getting hurt. So we'll bring in Chmelevski, and he will get some decent starting time. What do we want to do here? Seneshin. Let's go with Little. What do we want to do? Sasha, DeBrusk. Who gives a shit? That is good enough. Doesn't really matter. Rask is in for this last game. We will go best lines down in Providence. And let's get the last game of the year out of the way. Will we hit 56 wins this season? Of course! Oh my god, this game. Oh, I knew it. I fucking knew it. We just had to get through one game, EA. He fucking fractures his collarbone. He's only out for about a week or so. Just over a week, but Jesus Christ, man. You could see it coming from a mile away. You could fucking see these injuries coming from a goddamn mile away. And now we have to deal with injuries, and Hannu Herme is going to have to start in this series. Great. Just fucking wonderful. We got the win, so we did hit 56 wins on the year. Both teams are in a playoff spot, but man, despite 56 wins, despite a 120-point season, we're not exactly walking into the playoffs on a great note. Not at all, but we will take a look. Actually, let me go to team stats first, because I do want to see if we won the President's Trophy, and I do want to see how well our offense and defense were ranked. So let's get through this quickly. We did win the President's Trophy, as you would expect. We did have the best offense in the league. We did have the best defense in the league. We did have the best power play in the league. And we had a, high-end penalty kill. Not too bad at all. Not too bad. Taking a look at the point totals, of course, Tyler Seguin was our leading scorer. 84 points in 82 games. Pasta with 75. Stromwall with 72. Drops off from there, but it is Dennis Cholowski with 57 points, a plus 27. Yossi, 54 points. Not a bad pickup. Senyshyn with 46. Hamilton with 46. Skinner with only 42. Disappointing. Grzelcyk with 42. Guryanov with 38. 34 for Grigor. 31 for Sasha. 31 for Teratukin. Only 30 for Nolan Patrick. It's not like he's going anywhere, but that is obviously a disappointing first year. 19 points for Tufte. 17 for DeBrusk. He played all 82 games. That is abysmal. Sylvan with 14 points. Brian Little, 6 points in 23 games. Pretty disappointing. Strome, 3 points in 8 games. Carlo with 4 points in 71. And you see the few other players. Did you see D. Giacinto? Those 6 games were not played with us. Take a look at the goalies. 46 games for Rask, 38-4 with a .927 save percentage. Herme, 36 games, 23-8-1 with a .930. And then Sawchuk, 4 games with a .920. Great goaltending this year. God, that Rask injury, man, that could really cost us. I want to take a look at the rookie skaters first, because I'm intrigued to see what the results will be. And it is Velarde, 62 points. Vaclav Rakunik, not too far back for the Devils. Vitaly Abramov is up there as well. Sasha Teratukin, not too far off. But yeah, overall, I think we know who the Calder is going to go to, unless there is a very solid goalie. Herme might technically have a chance with 36 games. Same with Tyler Parsons and Vevalainen. But if you had to bet, the Calder will most likely go to Gabe Velarde. Looking league-wide really quick, Connor McDavid, 99 overall with 109 points. Tavares with 89. No big surprises. Seguin being top 5 in scoring, though, is a very welcome change. And Pasternak's name second from the bottom, just above Alex Barkov. Not too bad at all. So obviously we have injury concerns. Big time. But let's find out who's it going to be in round 1. After one hell of a season, winning the President's Trophy, despite so many players underperforming, who is it going to be? That is the question. Ottawa and Montreal, the only other teams from the Atlantic that'll make it. It's going to be a Metro team, and it is going to be the New York Rangers. Bruins and Rangers. Not too bad. That is an interesting matchup of original 6 teams. Ottawa, Montreal, Washington, New Jersey. So Krejci and Bergeron back in the playoffs. And then Pittsburgh and Carolina. In the West, Edmonton, Winnipeg, Arizona, Calgary, Colorado, Dallas, Chicago, and St. Louis again. Those 2 teams just can't get away from one another. But Hanu Herme, as we move forward, Hanu Herme will be the starter. Hasn't bounced back to an 83 yet. He had a strong year. And Sawchuk, very limited ice time, but did well in the 4 games that he played. Defensively, of course, thankfully, we are okay. And if we have injury defensively, we're fine in terms of call-ups. It's just offensively that we have the biggest questions, with Brian Little underperforming, Jake DeBrusk underperforming. If I had to say what I would probably go with in terms of a lineup here for the first round, it would probably be this. Stromwall, Seguin, Pasternak, Skinner, Patrick, Senyshyn, Tufte, Grigor, Teratukin, Strome, Little, and DeBrusk. As far as call-ups, we have D. Giacinto and Trent Frederick. Although, really quickly, I suppose I can show you guys AHL scoring, just in case you want to know. But I have a feeling most people will agree with the lineup. If anything, people might disagree with me not going out and getting certain players, which could come back to haunt us. I mean, you were hoping, and I was hoping for better from Brian Little, but that did not happen. In the AHL, Riley Stillman was actually our leading scorer, 60 points in 74 games. Holy shit. Wow, he has 90 offensive awareness. Well, guess who's becoming an offensive defenseman pretty damn quick? Holy shit. He's 23, too, so who knows what will happen. Strome, 57 points in 65 games. Then you have Kuznetsov, Sokolov, McKenzie, Travis Barron, and it dips off a bit from there. Pretty disappointing year for Charlie McAvoy. Who knows what happens with him in the future. But regardless, as exciting as like the upcoming offseason will be, because we're in the same spot with a lot of players potentially progressing, we have a lot of expectations to live up to. The best team in the NHL. It's year 5. Can we keep the streak going? 1, 3, 5. Can we get our 3rd Stanley Cup in the series? The road to that truly begins in the next episode when we, of course, take on the Rangers in the first round. And, of course, you guys will get a look at their lineup at the beginning of the next episode. That's what I was trying to say. Anyway, that is it for this one. Of course, if you did enjoy this particular episode, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, to continue following this series and others. Any ounce of support is more than appreciated. And aside from the like button, let me know down in the comments below. And I mean it when I say it. You can look at my videos. I reply to as many comments as I can. And don't feel left out if I didn't get to yours. It just... I don't have an excuse. I don't. I really don't. Just let me know. Your thoughts on the episode, your thoughts on the series, your thoughts on what I do here. Let me know, because I want to know. Any and all feedback, more than welcome. If you think I absolutely suck, I don't necessarily disagree with you. I really don't. But anyway, I'm rambling, guys. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bruins and Rangers. This should be fun.